Michelle was just ranting about Obama during the break, so I'm not telling her what to say. I just wanted to repeat what's really in her heart. She always starts it with, Mama said never say something, you know, don't say anything if you don't have something good to say. My dad always said that, but, I mean, Obama said a bunch of things. Repeat what you just said off air.
I just said, I was telling Alex that, you know, I was always taught if you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. Like yesterday, I was telling you guys, for the health care, it's fine. Because, you know, when you go to the emergency or something, you don't got no health care, they do not take care of you. I understand that. Now you got a little health care, that's fine. And I know it takes time, but you said these people that voted for you, strung out poor welfare recipients that you were going to help. You were going to give the checks back. You was going to help for that care. That should have been my first priorities, because the poll that helped me get to the president is the poll the first ones I'm going to try to help. You ain't did none of that. It's still my nieces and them without jobs and just get 100-something or 200.
What was your quote, though? You said he gamed you, pimped you? What were you saying?
He pimped me, you know, pimped me to walk, to protest, to get the votes, because when I got the votes for him to say, who bought you a phone? Obama, and you ain't gonna vote for Obama? Everybody in low minorities in Cleveland, when they heard who got the phone, Obama, we was all illiterate about it. But now we got the phones and we used them 250 minutes. We all think Obama did it because he's the president. But a lot of people wasn't even voting for Obama. They was going for Romney because Romney was going to give us more stamps, more check, all that. They didn't have all that on Obama. And now that you didn't got him president and you didn't even push the phones out, that wasn't even your take. We should have been saying, thank you, Clinton. Clinton phone, not Obama phone, but by you was in president and we got them, because my job set me down and told me that was the wrong move you made, but it had to have been the right move. I'm better than where I was, not from Obama neither. So that's what I wanted to say. He really got us riled all up and didn't do nothing, as I see yet. Not yet. So when is it going to happen? We still with no check.
Well, he's delivering to Guatemala, Nicaragua, El Salvador.
Right, but he ain't delivering to us. And I can't understand why. They didn't vote for you for no president. You got most of your votes from the low black minorities, not from no rich people. A lot of rich people didn't even want to vote for Obama because they knew Obama wasn't going to do nothing. Because first of all, he was mixed black.
Listen, it's a strategy. Let me tell you about most real rich people out there. They don't care what color you are. They all just want to know how much money they can make.
Right. So that's how I was when I first got into it. I was so happy to work, happy to get $15 an hour.
But let me just tell you, so everybody knows, successful people like other successful people. That's all they like. They like other smart people.
True.
Yeah, rich.
And I was smart then.
Let me tell you, I've been around a lot of rich white people.
Right.
You're not hearing a word bad about black people.
Right. Because you've been around a lot of rich white people.
I'm just telling you, it's not going on. Where you hear all the race stuff is down with working class, blacks, whites, Hispanics, and others, because everybody's fighting over less resources. That's why the ultra-rich want it that way.
Right.
They're not up there even thinking about it.
Right. Most of the rich people that even when I worked, and I worked for Obama, they wasn't even all on it like we was. We was working like 12, 13 hours. Them people was just in and out. Long as we got the votes. Matter of fact, I didn't even have a driver's license, and I was driving, getting the votes to take them to the place.
Let's take a quick call before we go into overdrive here. Logan, give us your question for Obama phone lady. She may have to answer it in overdrive, but go ahead.
Yep.
Yeah, you're on the air.
How you doing, Alex? Thanks for taking my call. Apathy is treason. And it's less of a question that I have for the Obama phone lady, but more of some points that we have to look at the path in which we are currently on our trajectory. And to do that, we have to look at the past, right? The assassinations of the 1960s from Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Bobby Kennedy, JFK.
Hold on, stay there. I'm going to come back to you in overdrive, Infowars.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Edward Group. Today I'd like to talk about the war on women. You've experienced and heard about the benefits of super male vitality. Now, the new formula has arrived. Introducing the new Super Female Vitality. I have specifically designed this formula to help the body naturally regulate itself without the use of artificial hormones. key ingredients chosen from the highest quality sources. Each of these ingredients works synergistically with the female body in order to maximize overall vitality. You've heard the reviews and the feedback on how the original Super Male Vitality has revitalized relationships. Now, both the man and the woman can have the revitalization in their own bodies with Super Male Vitality and Super Female Vitality. Secure your Super Female Vitality today from our limited stock at InfoWarsLife.com.
You know, a few years ago when the Obama phone lady video came out, we played it on air and we made fun of it. But I make fun of myself as well. Remember when I had a 6X pair of underwear on my head a few weeks ago, making jokes. But then, you know, at the same time, it was empathy and sadness at you being conned. I've been conned in my life as well. And what I like to do is explain to people how they don't need to get conned down the road. And none of us are perfect. We're taking phone calls for you from Logan, Jerry, Austin, Dan, and others. Logan, finish up your point that you were making.
So we have to look at those assassinations of our people's leaders. And JFK was going to get rid of the IRS, disband the Federal Reserve, start to reissue Lincoln Liberty dollars.
Cut taxes, also get us out of the Vietnam War.
Right, correct. And then also give us, as American citizens who pay taxes, 0% interest loans for 30-year fixed rates.
And real civil rights. He not that he was even perfect. He went, you mean I can cut taxes by half and double receipts? You mean we can just totally take over? And the insider groups didn't want the old policy of American prosperity to continue, so they killed him deader than a hammer.
We didn't owe the Federal Reserve a VIG on top of every dollar that's printed. If we owned that bank and it was not a quasi-federal institution, you know, because it's really not federal, which everybody knows, you know, we wouldn't owe that to anybody. We would be the richest nation in the world, far beyond what we've ever accomplished.
Absolutely, and that's why they killed Kennedy, who was no angel by a long shot. His brother, Bobby, it was declassified, was on PBS a few years ago on Frontline, wanted to blow up the Honduras embassy, kill our people, and blame it on them to invade them because they were going communist. And I could see the argument to do that, stop the communists, you know, kill a few of your own people, but you just can't do stuff like that. And his brother said no. But that just gives you an idea of how ubiquitous false flags are. Great point. I appreciate your call. Dan in Ohio, you're on the phone with Obama phone lady.
All right now.
Let me hear it.
Oh, yeah. How you doing?
Oh.
I'm in your backyard. I'm in Akron, Ohio.
All right.
And you understand how Channel 19 News is not fair and accurate? They came down here to my hometown to interview me because I'm an artist and I do street art, and I did anti-Obama posters and signs. I had Obama like he's on his political campaign posters with his face, and I had him on a red communist flag with a hammer and sickle back in 2010, warning people he's a communist. Then I had his pants down, and I had Michelle Obama standing next to him with his dress up, with her dress up, with their face glued on to those cardboard characters, and people were mad as hell, but they came and looked at that and, you know, was mad as hell. Then now I got a poster or a mural showing how Obama is leading us to destruction. He's standing in front of the whole planet Earth. He's got a nuclear bomb explosion going off underneath him. He's got an Israeli tank. I got the last Pope on there. And I got Washington, D.C. burning. I got...
well, listen, where do we see this? Do you have a website, or tell us the name of the newscast? Because I want to see it.
It was Channel 19 News. It was that Puerto Rican newscaster that came down to...
No, but if you just remember the headline, it'll be something like, you know, street artist attacks Obama or defiles the precious God. I mean, what was the headline?
Yeah, it's on there.
Do this. Okay, send a link to showtips@infowars.com. Because if we'd have known the headline, we'd have shown some of that Very interesting, sir. So you're saying they came and spun the whole thing. Yeah, they always act like if you have free speech, it's bad. Like, you're supposed to only worship the president. Doesn't matter. No, you have free speech. More calls coming up. Austin in Ohio, you're on the phone with Michelle, a.k.a. Obama phone lady, who's here in Austin visiting. I think we'll visit with her once a year or so to just see how her journey of awakening takes place. But behind the scenes, she's a lot more talkative. She's a pretty smart lady when it comes to relationships and stuff like that, and life and street smarts. Austin in Ohio, what's your question or comment?
Yeah, so I just have one comment. I moved to California for a year when I was 18, and jobs down there were pretty hard to get, good paying jobs. So I went and applied for food stamps, and I went there and I got it. And as soon as I left that place after sitting there for 6 hours, I went straight home and I started crying, and I just cut the food stamp thing up because the whole problem with America and this welfare system is there's no pride anymore. There's no pride in knowing that you can survive in this country without having to take handouts from others.
Listen.
Now, granted, there are a lot of people who need it, like Obama phone lady who has kids and she's a single mother, and I understand that. But most of it is just because people don't have the pride to work for themselves and fend for themselves. So we have enabled the government to do all this to us.
No, I hear you. You know, my parents were the type that advised me about politics and life and science and things, but they didn't ever really hold my hand. And when I was 18, my mom came in and said, it's time for you to move out. We'll help you get an apartment, but you got jobs. That's it. Goodbye. That was it. My dad helped me set up a computer for my first shopping cart and helped me with some of the technical stuff like that. Once I'd already become somewhat successful and needed his help, and then helped me hire employees and stuff. We're going back like 18 years now when I first started getting to that level, been on air almost 20. But I remember when I was first going to community college to see if I wanted to go to college. My dad said it might not be good for you. You might want to be an entrepreneur. You might want to go start a company. Probably make more money doing that. So I was going to just check out what I liked. I remember going in and they said, you know, so you got two jobs, you're not making that much money, and your parents aren't helping you, and you're not getting scholarships. Well, we're just going to give you student aid. And you're 18 years old, you go, okay. And they sent me over to some state agency, and I'm in there, and they're about to sign me up to have my tuition paid for. And you know what I did? I got up and I left. And then a semester later, they start calling me going, no, we just did it anyways. It was paid for. And then another time I lost a job, and they said, it's all right, we're just laying you off. Go sign up for unemployment. I said, no, I'm going to get another job. And I'm not knocking people that go and do the other thing. It's just that they were always, it was like in high school, my last year there, I had too many credits. And so they put me for 2 periods a day as a teacher's aide, taking notes around the school or unloading pallets of paper or whatever for the office. And I don't know why I'm even telling these stories. And the nurse calls me in, and she was blonde. And first she kind of hit on me. She was in there in the office. She goes, by the way, you like speed, you like drugs? And I was in super good shape. I said, do I look like I'm on drugs, lady? And then she said, well, listen, I take Ritalin myself, and I've got a number to a psychologist here, or PhD or whatever. You ought to get on it. And then I learned she was doing it to everybody else that was coming in there. I mean, they're just trying to get you on Ritalin, trying to get you on welfare. They want to get the troops on it because then they can label you. Yeah. And then that goes in your database, and you don't get as many jobs. I'm sorry, caller, I'm ranting, but I hear your story. Michelle, any comments on that?
I agree to it. Just like you said, it's got to start somewhere.
Well, they saw it as, quote, helping me, like, oh, you're here, go talk to the school about what you ought to sign up for or whatever. It was like, oh, these are the different services. Go talk to them. And it was just immediately, and then I'd go to the ACC classes. It didn't matter if it was, math or Texas history or psychology.
Get you on that Ritalin.
They would immediately just say, world government is good. Guns are bad. White people are fundamentally evil. And it was just, I'm like, what is this place? I'm living in the Soviet Union. Thank you, Austin. Let's go to Jerry in New York. Anybody want to ask a question of Obama phone lady? Go ahead, Jerry.
I'm going to give a quote and then just a little explanation and have a comment on what I say. I'm giving a quote from Gerald Ford. A government that's big enough to give you everything you want is a government that is big enough to take everything from you. And I basically had to go into senior housing because I'd been out of work for 2 years, and I got laid off from a job that a big company that basically had illegals basically telling stories about how they bought their citizenship or the green card or this and that. I was laid off as an American because I didn't like it. I didn't think on anybody, but they always feared that I might think on somebody, so I was the guy laid off that couldn't get the job back. Then I go into senior housing, and they tell me because I'm trying to be an entrepreneur and make some money on the side that I have to write a document that I'm not going to work anymore, anytime, by any conditions, if I want to stay in senior housing. So now I'm basically blackmailed. Well, if I try to make money and get back on my feet,
exactly.
I don't have housing.
Exactly. I would all be for state or local welfare if it was designed to get you on your feet and doing well, and then, we're going to give you this money and go make money.
Right.
But then they never let you get to that point.
No. They get you enough where they can hang you. Get you. You know, like you said about that Ritalin, when you was going to school, they trying to get you, trying to educate yourself.
Well, the first time was 6th grade, where a couple kids that had flunked 3 grades were trying to beat me up, and I beat them up in Coach Webb's PE class. She was the female Webb. Her husband was the head football coach for the varsity football team later, and I was under him later. But the point was, is she was there. She's even still alive. She tells stories. She was pretty old then. And they called me in. They said, your son keeps beating people up. And my dad goes, well, they're starting fights with him.
Right.
And they said, well, listen, he needs to be on Ritalin, or we're going to call in social services. My dad said, look, bring it on. But, I mean, and then later, again, I'm a senior, and the woman's hitting on me and pushing it on me. I mean, this country is just fried. Fried. Jerry, I hear you. God bless you. Brad in Louisiana, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hi, Alex. And hi, Michelle.
Hi.
It's you I really want to speak to. I really respect your fortitude for being on the air, and I have heard that there's the potential that there would be more harm caused to the black community than to the white community. Oh, yeah. I am a retired druggist. That kind of ages me. I'm a pharmacist, and I was in the integration process back in the late 60s. And I remember how hard it was on us as students because of what the government was doing. Now you're faced with Hispanics being integrated into the system as well. And with the obvious reality of gangs, how do you feel? How does the black community feel? Are you, do you feel under duress? Are you frightened? What's
I
up
feel
with the
betrayed.
education?
I feel let down, betrayed. You know, you imagine a person making $15 an hour, working for the government. He said he's going to do this and do that. And I know, you know, a lot of things people say you can't believe, but you're the president. And then I'm still struggling, and now I'm down from 15 to 850. Could you imagine? You sucks. That sucks. You know, and he could have made a way where the skills he gave me to work for him for $15, I'm going to put...
Well, what about the trillions to foreign banks that then devalue the dollar? Why not just hand out money to the people? That would get the economy going. I'm not even endorsing that, but it's the worst of the worst. When you really study it, they want us poor, they want us dumbed down, they want us by the short hairs.
Yeah, that's true. But you know, that's why I say you got to keep praying for God, not the president, because they, you know, now they say look up to the police. The police there to help you. You know, now police want to do harm. You know, you don't know who to look up to. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really had trust in with the president.
We are becoming a barbarous nation.
It's like they're using us for soldiers. Like I'm a dummy and you're the pimping me.
Well, what you are is food.
Yeah. I'm fooled out.
See, if they can get you under their control and keep some of the money they're supposed to be giving you and then make you dependent on them, their job's set.
Right.
Then they don't have to compete with you. Let's go to Fabian in FEMA Region 5. You're on the phone. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, it's actually a woman.
Well, hey,
I got one of those names that everyone...
No, I apologize. I didn't know if it was male or female. I'm just kind of out of it after 3.5 hours.
That's true. It goes back to the old Fabian of the Route 66.
Oh, I got it. Fabian. Got it.
But no, mine's with a V as in Victor in the middle.
Okay.
But anyway, I was just calling to, I love Michelle.
Thank you so much.
She's got such a bright, sweet look in her eyes. I just love her. But, I'm just wondering, Michelle, if you really understand, how things work with the government. I think sometimes people think that there's a money tree that grows on the lawn of the White House, and that all Obama has to do is just go pick some and go send it out.
But he ain't even got to pick none. All he got to do is sign your name. He the president. He knows plenty of people. If I can show you.
But see, there's people producing things, and then government steals that. And then as government grows, it doesn't produce anything. Then the country collapses.
Well, see, that's what's happening, I think, now. Because some things they keep saying, well, he signed it. It didn't go through. He did it. It didn't go through. That's some bull. You know what I'm saying? Just flat out. That's some bull. You weirder than...
Anyways, but do you understand what she's saying about societies that start doing handouts?
Yeah, I understand about that.
Vivian, anything else you want to add?
Well, I was just going to say, I believe in a safety net to help people, who have really hit bottom. But
not a spider's web to entangle you?
Well, I mean, it can be, but, the person has to be able to take responsibility for their own actions. I mean, it was Michelle's decision to have 5 children.
Yes, it was. And
we're going to skip this break and go to the bottom of the hour.
But by it being my decision to have the 5 children, where is my decision where I can at least get food for my kids? What, you going to let them starve? To
feed your kids, you don't have 5 kids. You only have 1, perhaps, because you only have the money to feed 1.
Well, we all make mistakes, just like he made mistakes, Obama. You know what I'm saying? So that was in the past, with the 5 kids. Now they're here. Where's the help? I got 2 legs, 2 hands. I'm ready to work, Have
you seen the video of the lady that has 18 kids, though? And she's there griping at the government saying, get me more money?
Or help me.
Have you ever seen that video?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Guys, look that up. Woman with 18 kids wants help. I think it was in Florida. I don't think you're in that position. The way it's advertised early on was, have more kids, you'll get money, and you can get them in school, and then they'll have a future. I want a bunch of kids. I got 3. I get that. I don't fault people who want to have kids. I don't get the Democratic Party pushing incentives to get people to have kids, but then setting up abortuaries to try to abort as many as they can. It's like mixed signals. It's full spectrum dominance. And then later cutting the welfare back where the kids then turn to crime. It's like the most evil things they could do with the Republican leadership, they do.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it's so sophisticated.
So much of that where I live at. So much of that. I mean, like I was telling you, I got 5 kids, and I grew up in a low-class area. Now my son is a VA social worker. He got kids. He got 3, 2, and 1 more on the way. And by both of them working, it's still hard, but they maintaining. See, when you maintain and you're barely making it with 2, because in the Bible it say you must be married for have babies. I think everyone that went out of the wedlock of God and didn't marry before you have babies, you're going to have problems. I had 5 and never been married, so I was going to have some problems. But where it come to sign your name, here's a check and then some stamps to help you get on your feet. 36 months, you're on your
I know, but here's the deal. All over the place, there are people that can't pay their property taxes, and they come in and they auction your house. And if you don't leave it, a SWAT team comes
and board it up.
And then a lot of times they kill you.
Right.
So they kill people to get taxes to have welfare. So what about the people with the IRS pulls the ring off their finger, and the IRS SWAT teams hit people, and they're not real courts, not real trials? See, what about that? What about people in France? The Socialist Party last year raised taxes on the middle class to 101%. So you have to pay everything you make and more.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the ultra-rich are tax exempt. They have Swiss bank accounts and all. It's a big scandal. And the socialist leadership has Swiss bank accounts. So they raise taxes 101% only to selectively shut down all their competition.
Mm.
Do you think that if a person had competence, maybe 100% isn't enough?
Right.
Maybe we make them slaves. Maybe if you're a doctor or an electrician, you haven't given enough to the state. Maybe you should actually be put back out in the field. I'm talking about people that are paying taxes. When is taxation slavery? How much, I mean, how high should it be?
I can't really say it. I know it's high, though, right? Taxes?
Yeah, I mean, the average person who's middle class is paying about 60, 70%.
Right.
In France, it's 101%.
It's a lot.
I'm not joking. We can put the Forbes headline
That's
up.
a lot.
Yeah.
But they said that's a rich town, so you're going to pay high taxes, right?
Well, but I mean, 101%?
Ooh, that's high.
I mean, how do you pay 100? You don't. You shut down, you go on welfare.
Right, because you can't afford it.
Now, that could never happen if the political elite weren't exempt. It's the discrimination. There's the headline. French tax soars over 100%. It's the discrimination. We're all taught it's about what color we are or where we're from, or if a man's a man, it hurts women somehow. Men just need to go die in a ditch. That empowers women. That's just because the state doesn't want women having men around to be, to team up with them. Right. And that was CIA declassified. And they've wrecked society. They've done a great job. This is why they're known as the devastators. They rule. And they control because they're so vicious, but pose and act trendy and have beards and socks that don't match and go, trendy. When they're psych warfare commanders, putting cancer viruses in the vaccines. They rule terra firma through solid murder operations of total commitment to Satan. That's why they're so powerful. And people are naive to it. And so as long as Bill Gates and Warren Buffett are tax exempt, they're going to lobby to raise my taxes. So I can't hire people and pay them well, and can't give bonuses out, and can't hire more reporters, and can't supplant them. Because MSNBC under GE is tax exempt. I'm not.
Right.
I pay 40% federal tax to the private Federal Reserve. I pay Texas franchise tax. I pay all sorts of other hospital district taxes, sales taxes, property taxes, fines and fees tagged onto every bill. And when the bureaucrats show up here, they tell me, you work for us. They come in here and they hate me that I hire people. And they hate me that I work hard. And they hate me that I'm smart. And they're going to bring me down because misery loves company. That's what you told me earlier. You said it's crazy how these women go out and tell women that are married, get rid of your husband because they want to basically bring them down. Misery loves company. You understand that?
That's just like you hang with a girl that can ride horses, and I can't ride one. If I keep going to that horse place with her and riding them horses, eventually I'm going to be just like her. Same thing. Birds of the feather flock together. You don't mess with people that ain't doing what you're doing. I had to cut them all loose because I feel...
You were telling me these women tell you all the time, don't be with Harvey, get rid of your man.
Man, he ain't nothing.
Because they don't have one.
And we can party, we can do this. But then at the end of the day, I got somebody to hug, somebody to make me smile, somebody to make me feel good. Darn what you say. Because if you keep listening, just like I listened to that old man in back of you now, Obama, and keep listening and worked hard. I was skinny when I was working for him. I'm big as a cat now. But if you keep listening to people, it steer you wrong. All wrong.
Well, the women's magazines say the thing to do is divorce your husband. All of it's the trendy thing to do. All these divorced women go around and find any woman they know that's married and just sit there lying to them.
But you know what? They miserable. Miserable. Do you know it's a saying is in the Bible? I had to really learn this from church because I never knew you must be married to have a baby. If you unmarried without a baby, you're going to have a lot of problems. I swear, with 5 kids and 3 different baby daddies, I ain't had nothing but problems. But now the relationship I am in today is marriage. And it's everything gonna have its ups and downs, but it's better with this one.
Well, statistically, children are 4 to 5 times more likely to end up in prison or on drugs if they come from a single-parent home. And the media goes, oh, you're being racist against single mothers. No, I'm not. We're talking about statistics. And so we don't judge people that are from single families. We try to work with the communities to strengthen families because that's what works.
That's what works. I was a single parent with 5 kids, and ain't nan one of mine thieves, drug dealers, or none of that, because they seen how.
That is really hard to do.
And they 4 young men.
Well, you beat the statistics.
But I also.
Well, I think that's a testament to you that your kids have got good jobs and are.
Well, they doing the best they can for the shape they in, but they ain't in jail. They ain't got no felonies. None of that. One of mine does. Just 1 out of 5. But I thank God, and I knock on wood, and I stay straight in some things, because the long run, like I was saying about the long run, at the end of the day, we eating bologna and potato chips. You feel me? At the end of the day, we all full, and it went down the same way. That's how I look at life today. At the end of the day, I ain't got to have no steak. Like I just told you, I ain't got to stay in the Radisson. Man, I sleep in that truck. Can I get them ends too? I'm real. You know, because the Radisson wasn't all that because of the name. The name say Radisson. How you gonna go stay in a hotel and you got a man, he can't tell me where's the swimming pool because he don't understand what I'm saying. Where they do that at? Where they do that at?
No, it's the Tower of Babel. The centralized technocracy robot command force scientifically attacking us, doing everything it can to confuse us and make sure we're all broke up. Don't have a man, don't have a wife, don't take care of your kids, can't speak English. They tell the immigrants
Bible first.
They tell the immigrants don't learn English now.
Ooh.
Because that's the world language. They don't want them to be successful.
Right, because
they want a permanent underclass.
Right, well, they could just say, do this, do that, do that. Like you ever sit at a store or something and they talking all this English and you don't understand them, but really they're cussing you out. You ever been through that? I was that the day when we went to Texas.
Yeah, no, my cousin speaks fluent Spanish, so he
and
gets
we're
to hear
at the
it.
bank, and the lady busy talking, and I'm looking at Harvey like my ideas and everything. I'm from Cleveland, you know. I'm trying to explain to the lady.
Yeah, you can't cash a check, but illegals can without ID.
Right.
Because again, it's discriminatory. But only because it's an economic war. It's not the fault of the people south of the border. They're being exploited. They're being set up like there's cheese on a mousetrap. I'm sorry, the other callers, Alex, Chris, and Andrew. I'm just out of time. I'm exhausted. Nightly News tonight, 7 o'clock Central. I meant to get to this video of the UN spokesman crying on camera over Gaza school attack. That's up on Infowars.com. It's pretty powerful. The culture shock is so great that the Washington Times is reporting there's criminal investigations going on saying that the Border Patrol didn't do a good enough job at these facilities because there was crap all over the floor. But that's because the people at the facilities have never had a toilet.
Right. So where else was they going to use it?
Well, I mean, again, and if you say use the toilet, it's racist.
Right.
All right. So crap on the floor, folks. We'll see you Sunday. Alex Jones here for Infowars.com. We're going to be intensifying our efforts to awaken free humanity to the scourge of the globalist in the month of July. And starting this July 4th, we are going to slash prices in a celebration of true Americana, the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, and the Declaration of Independence on all of the Made in America products that you will find at madein1776.com or InfoWarsStore.com. We're talking about Made in America belt buckles in brass and nickeled brass that state it loud and proud. Molon Labe. That's why we have the best-selling Made in America men's and women's Molon Labe Infowars.com shirts. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a win-win. You vote with your dollars. You support the most hardcore organization out there for promoting true ideas of libertarianism, constitutionalism, basic human empowerment. But more importantly, you get T-shirts and belt buckles so you can meet like-minded people. So you have a conversation starter with friends and family and coworkers. We are reaching out to each other. And you also throw it in the face of the anti-gunners and the rest of the parasites out there that you're a free man and woman and that you're not going to be a slave, that you're not going to be intimidated to shut up by their tyranny that they call political correctness. That's why in the month of July, we have got giant specials on everything at madein1776.com. But to expand the InfoWar, we're offering the biggest special in the history, 13 years of PrisonPlanet.tv, our multimedia platform. We're offering the equivalent of more than 5 months free right now when you get a membership at PrisonPlanet.tv, and you get 11 memberships that can be used with the same username and passcode so you can share it with friends and family. Now is the time to fund the war bonds. Now is the time to fund the InfoWar. Now is the time to get aggressive. Now is the time to double down. Now is the time to realize you are the people that made the InfoWar so successful and one of the leading lights worldwide against tyranny. You don't stand behind us, you stand right beside us, and I salute all of you on this July 4th, 2014, and going forward in the month of July and onward. This is about freedom worldwide and that desire for human dignity and self-determination that beats in the human breast. We are brothers and sisters together in the true spirit of liberty and the animating contest of liberty. And so I quote in closing the great Thomas Jefferson, that I have sworn on the altar of God resistance against every form of tyranny. And never forget, if you are watching or listening to this transmission, you are the resistance.